and SportsZone Saturday starts now.
56 teams entered the week in pursuit of a state championship, and now there's just 28 football teams left as the South Dakota High School Football State semifinals are set. Welcome to SportsZone Saturday. I'm Sean Bauer alongside Tanner Castora.
All 7 South Dakota classes held their quarterfinals on Thursday night, with teams punching their tickets to the semifinals. So we're going to break down each of those 7 classes this morning, and we'll begin in 11 AAA.
Yeah, and the 11 AAA quarterfinals were highlighted by a pair of small upsets. 5th-seeded Lincoln avenged their regular season finale loss to Washington with a 45-24 win over the Warriors on Thursday, while 6th-seed O'Gorman pushed its win streak to 5 as they knocked off 3-seed Roosevelt 42-28. Meanwhile, top-seeded Harrisburg rolling past Rapid City Stevens 50-9, while Brandon Valley pulled away in the second half for a 24-9 victory over Jefferson, setting up a pair of intriguing semifinal matchups.
It'll be a President's Bowl rematch as Harrisburg meets Lincoln in the semifinals. Tigers are looking to get back to the Dakota Dome following last year's runner-up finish. Harrisburg has created pressure on their opponents all season long thanks to an offense that's scoring nearly 45 points per contest. Lincoln is back in the semifinals for the 2nd consecutive season, and they're looking to return to the Dome for the first time in 7 years. Patriots were impressive in all phases in their win this past week over Washington. Sophomore quarterback Tate Schaefer threw for 261 and 4 touchdowns in the win. Two teams met back in early September with the Tigers earning a 35-27 victory.
Yeah, expecting a lot of points in that one. And the other 11 AAA semifinal, it might be different. It'll feature the past 2 state champions, defending champ Brandon Valley hosting O'Gorman. Now the Lynx got back into the win column, 23-9 over Jefferson in the quarterfinals. Brandon Valley collected 3 sacks, and Max Van Westen intercepted 2 passes in that victory. Semifinal opponent O'Gorman, on the other hand, was led by their offense on Thursday. The Knights quarterback Bennett Dannenbring threw for 331 yards and 4 touchdowns, while rushing for 2 more. And the Knights and Lynx met already once this year, back on September 17th. Brandon Valley earning a defensive battle win in that one, 13-10.
An 11 AAT area continued its undefeated season with a dominant 57-10 win over Sturgis. They'll draw Yankton in the semifinals after the Bunks jumped out to a commanding lead over Mitchell as they advanced by a final of 42-21. On the other side of the bracket, that's where things took a little turn. 7-seed Aberdeen Central, they went into Brookings and upset the 2-seeded Bobcats 42-34. That would pave the way for 4-time defending champion PIERRE to host the semifinals as the Governors rolled to a 38-9 victory over Watertown.
And that first semifinal tier in Yankton, well, they'll meet for the very first time this season when they clash in the semifinals on Friday. Now, the Titans, 10-0 on the year, and they've been dominant all season long in their first year in 11 AA. They're averaging 46 points per game on offense, and their average margin of victory this year come by 35 points. Now, Yankton enters the semifinals with a 6-4 overall record. Bucks are averaging nearly 35 points per game while holding opponents to 18 points per contest. Now, Yankton has dropped both of its games against teams with winning records this year, while T-Area, they've only played 1 team above 500, but like they've done all season long, they've dominated those games. They dominated that game as they rolled Brookings 47-21 in their season opener.
On the other side of the bracket, it'll be 4-time defending 11 AA champs PIERRE hosting 7-seed Aberdeen Central. The semifinal will be a rematch of an October 15th tilt, which the Govs beat the Golden Eagles in a shootout, 52-35 up in Aberdeen. This one could very well follow a similar theme, with the game featuring 2 of the state's best quarterbacks in PIERRE's Lincoln Kienholz and Aberdeen Central's Sam Rolfs. Kienholz leads the Govs offense that's averaging 36 points per contest, while Rolfs and company have put up just about 42 points a game, and they did it against a Brookings defense that had been holding opponents to less than 17 points per game prior to Thursday night's loss.
Yeah, should be a shootout there. 2 very good quarterbacks on both sides of the ball. Moving to 11A, top seed in Madison. Well, they remain unbeaten on the season, 35-14 over Sioux Falls Christian in the quarters. They'll meet 4th seeded Dell Rapids, who is fresh off a narrow 19-15 win over West Central. Other side of the bracket, MILBANK picking up the defensive win over 2nd seeded Canton, 6-0 shutout victory there. And they'll get to play Vermillion in the semifinals. Tanagers earned a 21-7 win over Tri-Valley.
Madison and Dell Rapids will meet in a rematch of their Week 8 contest. The Bulldogs would cruise to a 35-7 win in the game, but the Warriors have rattled off 3 straight wins since. Friday's game will feature 2 of the top quarterbacks in the state, including Madison's Nate Rickey and Dell Rapids' Austin Henry. Both teams are scoring 29 points or more this season, meaning this game could very well be a high-scoring affair. Neither team has reached the state championship in the past 2 seasons. The Couriers, they're seeking their first state title since 2018, while Madison is in search of their first title in the past 4 seasons.
Yeah, so good quarterbacks continuing to be a theme here. Vermillion and MILBANK now, they'll cross paths for the first time this season as the Bulldogs make the trip south to the Dakota Dome. Now both teams hoping to snap a state championship appearance drought. MILBANK hasn't been to the Dakota Dome in 12 years, while the Tanners looking to reach the title game for the first time since 1999. Now, MILBANK owns the second best scoring defense in the class, and they're looking to ride the momentum of their quarterfinal shutout into the semis, while Vermillion's defense, fresh off a 7-point performance against Tri-Valley. Battle these two defenses will be the key in this one.
Winner is the lone unbeaten in 11B, and they kept it that way, powering past McCook Central Montrose 66-28. The Warriors will now meet Elk Point Jefferson, who is fresh off a 42-point win over Wagner. The other side of the bracket, BRIDGEWATER-EMERY Ethan picked up the upset victory over Sioux Valley 21-8, and they'll meet Beresford, who continued their Cinderella run with a 7-6 overtime win over Aberdeen Roncalli.
Yeah, well, Winner has scored 126 points in their 2 playoff wins, just the dominant team right now, and they'll look to carry that offensive success into their matchup against Elk Point Jefferson. Now, the Huskies, they've been no slouch either on offense. They put up 104 points in a pair of playoff wins. However, the Huskies will have their hands full as they face Winner's second-best scoring defense. They're allowing just 8 points per contest. Key will be the ground game in this matchup. Warriors have leaned heavily on their rushing attack. Friday's semifinal match will be the first time the 2 teams have met this season.
In the other 11B semifinal, it'll be a Week 6 rematch as BRIDGEWATER-EMERY Ethan hosts Beresford. Seahawks are searching for their 5th straight state championship appearance, while Beresford is in pursuit of their first Dakota Dome appearance in the last 34 seasons. Watchdogs have played underdog, upsetting number 3 Mount Vernon Plankinton and number 6 Aberdeen Roncalli. Seahawks are coming off their upset win, picking up a 21-8 victory over second-seeded Sioux Valley. Key to this game will be time of possession. The Seahawks dominated the ball in their quarterfinal win, so the challenge for the Watchdogs will be figuring out how to keep that Seahawks offense on the sideline.
Yeah, Beresford, what a story they are. We're not done breaking down the semifinal round yet. We'll take a closer look at all the 9-man matchups after the break. And welcome back to SportsZone Saturday. There was a pair of major upsets, well, at least by seed and 9AA, a pair of reigning 9-man state champions. Both picked up road victories in the quarterfinal round. Defending 9AA champ Platte Geddes outlasted Hanson 26-24 in overtime. Black Panthers stopped the Beavers' 2-point try to hold on for the victory and keep their hopes of repeating in 9AA alive. They'll face Timberlake in the semifinals. Now, the Panthers punched their ticket to the semis behind a 43-yard touchdown pass from Kedrick Martin to Hank Kraft with 5 seconds left to stun Lyman in the quarters. Other side of the bracket, Parkston avenged a regular season loss as they eliminated Garrettson, while 3-time defending 9A champion CANISTOTA Freeman, who moved up to 9AA this year, shut out 3-seed Ipswich 14-0.
Defending 9A champion Platte Geddes is a win away from making it back to the Dakota Dome for a 2nd straight season. Black Panthers have picked up back-to-back impressive road wins over Chester area and Hanson to get to the semifinals. Black Panthers averaged nearly 30 points per game during the regular season, and in their 2 postseason contests, they're averaging just a tick better at 31. They'll go against the Timberlake defense that's holding opponents to less than 10 points per night. On the other side of the ball, Timberlake's offense is averaging nearly 40 points per game. Now, their 2 lowest offensive outputs have come in their 2 lone playoff wins for an average of 18 points.
An interesting one there. Well, the other semifinal will pit 2-seed Parkston against 11-seed CANISTOTA Freeman. The Pride seeking their 4th straight state championship after winning the last 3 9A titles. They've knocked off Florence, Henry, and Ipswich to get to the semifinals. Both wins coming on the road. Now, CANISTOTA Freeman's defense hasn't been quite as stout as years past, but they may be finding their form at the right time as they've given up just 52 points in their last 3 contests and didn't give up a point in the quarterfinals. And they'll look to contain a Parkston offense that's scoring nearly 36 points per game. Trojans have been held under 20 points just once, and that came all the way back in their season opener against Hanson.
In 9A, all the top seeds moved on as the semifinals will feature 4 undefeated teams. Here at Selby area pulled away from Castlewood in the quarterfinals setting up a semifinal tilt with the SMET, who knocked off last year's 9A runner-ups Warner 32-16. On the other side of the bracket, Howard continued its roll as the Tigers pounded Woolsey Washington 46-7. Up next, they'll get the Wall Eagles, who built an early 19-point lead at halftime against Gregory and would go on to win that one 34-20.
Yeah, a lot of powerful teams in this class. The first 9A semifinal will pit the top seed in the class, HERREID SELBY area, against the team that finished tied atop the final prep media poll, the SMET. Now, the Wolverines will look to get back to the state title for the second time in 3 years. They're 11-0 on the season and have a pair of wins over 9B semifinalist Potter County and 9AA semifinalists, while the SMET enters 10-0 with a victory over 9B semifinalist DELL Rapids St. Mary to their name. Now, Friday's semifinal featured the class's two highest scoring offenses. Wolverines averaging nearly 53 points per game, while the SMET, they're not too shabby either, scoring 47 a game. But the Bulldogs bring in the top scoring defense in 9A, giving up just a tick over 7 points per game. Here's defense, they're pretty stout too, though. They eliminated opponents to less than 15 points per game, so it should be a great game there.
It'll be a matchup of two 10-0 teams in the other semifinal game as Howard hosts Wall. Tigers may have the most impressive resume of any 9-man team. They own wins over CANISTOTA Freeman, Chester Area, Garrettson, and Hanson, and their closest matchup all season long was an 18-point win over Chester Area. But Wall has been equally as dominant. Other than its 13-point win over Gregory in their opener and a 14-point victory over the Gorillas in the playoffs, they've won every other game by at least 26 points. Stats-wise, both teams very similar. Howard scoring nearly 44 points per game while giving up less than 10, while Wall averages nearly 45 points in offense while limiting opponents to less than 9 points per contest.
Yeah, well, in 9B, 3 of the 4 top seeds advance as the only road team to win on Thursday was 5 seed DELL Rapids St. Mary, who avenged a season-opening loss to Gayville-Volin 42-22 in the quarters. They'll face top seed and undefeated AVON, who pulled away from Alcester-Hudson on Thursday to punch its ticket to the semifinals. Other side of the bracket, Faulkton area advanced with a 48-22 victory over Hardin County Bison, while Potter County impressed in their quarterfinal matchup 48-6 over Hitchcock-Tulare.
Avon enters the semifinals as the lone unbeaten team in 9B and will look for its second win of the season over DELL Rapids St. Mary. Pirates and Cardinals met back on September 3rd, with Avon cruising to a 48-14 victory. Pirates have scored at least 30 points in every game this season and have put up nearly 51 points per game. After a 1-2 start to the year, DELL Rapids St. Mary is starting to find its form. Cardinals have won 5 of their last 6, with that lone loss coming to 9A semifinalist the SMET. Cardinals defense has led the way since that loss to Avon, giving up just 70 total points in their last 6 games, with 34 of those coming against the SMET.
Yeah, peaking at the right time potentially there. Other semifinal will be a rematch of a season-opening game between Faulkton area and Potter County. Trojans knocked off the Battlers on the road 36-18 back on August 20th. Faulkton area brings 9B's top-scoring defense into the matchup. They're giving up less than 16 points per game, and they'll need it because they'll look to slow down the second-highest scoring offense. Potter County scoring 41.6 points per game. The 18 points Faulkton area held the Battlers to is Potter County's second lowest scoring output of the season. Battlers D is solid as well as they rank 3rd among 9B teams. They'll look to slow down a Trojans offense that's been held to under 20 points just twice this season, once to Warner and the other to Ipswich. Well, find out how the community of Worthington has rallied behind its high school boys soccer team when we come back.
Players on the Worthington, Minnesota high school boys soccer team have plenty of reasons to hold their heads high this week. They completed an undefeated regular season and qualified for the Minnesota State Soccer Tournament. As Kelloland's Perry Groten reports, community support for the Trojans has been a cut above the rest.
The Worthington High School boys soccer team has been dominant this year, compiling a perfect record while leading all Minnesota schools in scoring average and defense. Now the players have a goal of claiming the state championship to boot.
It'll be a tough competition, but I think if we play our game and go into it with a competitive mindset, we'll go out well, have a good game.
The players are sporting fresh haircuts to add a little more bounce to their headers. The haircuts didn't cost the players anything.
It was good because most of us, we did need some haircuts. We just didn't want to get a haircut. So, I mean, when something's free, we're going to take it.
The free haircuts are courtesy of New Gen Studio. Barber Victor Sanchez once played soccer for Worthington.
Like a haircut always makes you feel like you can take on everything and anything.
The free haircuts are not only a show of community pride, but also an act of generosity to a group of high schoolers who can't always afford the luxury of a fancy haircut.
Things have gotten very expensive after the pandemic and whatnot, and we understand that a lot of parents are not able to afford this for these kids, you know, so we are able to do that for them.
The grateful players say the new haircuts will help their performance on the field.
People have more confidence. Look good, play good.
I'm not gonna miss no balls now. Play that. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Naturally. I'm gonna clear the ball out, you know, make goals.
Just by taking a little off the top, these athletes are performing stylishly from head to toe. In Worthington, Minnesota, Perry Groton, KELOLAND News.
Trojans fell to Wilmer in the state state quarterfinals on Thursday night by a final of 2-1. Still ahead of playoff football is off and running, and there's been plenty of highlight reel plays throughout. Which one of them topped the plays of the week? We'll find out coming up next.
The first round of the 11B and 9-man playoffs were held last week, along with the regular season finales for the state's 3 largest classes.
And with that comes another round of top plays. KELOLAND's Grant Sweeter brings you this week's top 5 plays.
The lone honorable mention comes from Nick Gaspar of Del Rapids St. Mary as he leaps up and brings in the catch around his defender for the nice first down. St. Mary would earn the win in the first round of the playoffs. The 5th best play of the week comes from Platt Geddes as Joey Boz gets a hand on the pass and it tips right to his teammate Aiden Bolche, and he's gone for the pick 6. The Black Panthers would earn a 35-12 playoff win over Chester area. The number 4 play of the week comes from the defensive side of the ball again as Harrisburg's Carter BARRENFUSS intercepts Jack Dewey, and then he takes it 33 yards for the interception touchdown. The Tigers would earn a 43-14 win over Brandon Valley. Checking in at number 3 is a one-handed grab by a familiar name as Nick Gaspar somehow makes the catch and stays inbound for the big gain. Del Rapids St. Mary would power past Corsica Stickney 40-0. The runner-up play of the week comes from Harrisburg's Aiden Foley, who tips the ball in the air and then brings it in while absorbing a hit. That set up a touchdown on the next play as the Tigers completed the undefeated season with a win over Brandon Valley. The top play of the week comes from the final seconds of an 11B first-round playoff game. Beresford trails by 3 when quarterback Tate VANOTTERLOO buys time, rolls left, and then fires downfield for Isaiah Richards, who hauls in the 24-yard touchdown for the win. The Watchdogs would advance to the quarterfinals with a 27-24 win over Mount Vernon Blankenton. That's a look at this week's KELOLAND.com top 5 plays of the week. If you have a player moment you'd like to see on KELOLAND, you can tweet to us using the hashtag KELOSports. In Sioux Falls, Grant Sweeter, KELOLAND Sports.
And we just had some incredible finishes in the high school playoffs already. Obviously, lots of great plays, but you know that Beresford once again picked up their first win in 30 years, and now they're a win away from the Dakota Dome. Watchdogs remain quite a story. Well, it was a winless Thursday night for Tanner, myself, and Grant in our NFL Pick'em. We'll take a look at this week's NFL slate after the break. Well, last week was a good week for Tanner here in our season-long NFL Pick'em as he got 10 games correct, while Grant and I each had 8 correct.
Yeah, picking up some room there, but none of us picked the Thursday night game correctly as the Packers held on to give Arizona their first loss of the season.
Well, there's still 14 more games to be played this week, so let's take a look at some of our other picks, starting with the Steelers at your Browns, Tanner.
Yeah, the Brownies, look, this is another big game. They're at 4-3, Steelers 3-3. This is a kind of a where's the season going to go type of game. Baker Mayfield back in the starting lineup. Looks like Nick Chubb's going to play. With those two dudes in the lineup, in the game, I got faith in the Brownies at home.
Yeah, I do too. I was very impressed with how they handled Denver down, their running backs down a quarterback. I think they just have they're at home. That's going to help. Pittsburgh's got a good defense still, but I think the Browns come out on top. Up next, we got the Eagles at the Lions. Now check this out. Lions haven't won a game yet. We're all picking them. I thought maybe I was going to sneak out a win here and pick them while you guys went the Eagles.
I was thinking the same thing, but we all go with the Lions. I think Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, they finally get their first win. I just don't have a lot of faith and that Eagles offense with Jalen Hurts. I like the Lions to get it done too.
Yeah, Lions play hard for Dan Campbell. I think you've seen that just about every game. And the Eagles, their secondary, they're giving up a lot of completions. And I think that's going to help Jared Goff kind of find some rhythm in that one. Up next, we go Washington at the Broncos. Now, I'm the lone person to take Denver. You and Grant both picked Washington. What is your reason?
I just don't think Denver's a good team. I have them from the start. I know they started out 3-0. They've lost 4 since. I like Washington to get a victory here on the road. Taylor Heineke, I think he's just a scrapper. I like the football team.
Yeah, I just want Denver at home, Mile High. I pick a lot of home teams typically, if you haven't noticed. I think it's a big advantage, and that's one of the biggest advantages. That was the only reason I did, and maybe I can gain a game on you, too. Next, we go to Buccaneers at Saints, and shocking, we all went with Tampa Bay.
Do you think, at this point, from what you've seen, that famous Jameis is the long-term answer in New Orleans?
No, I don't. I don't think he does what Sean Payton likes to do with it's a lot of short, intermediate throws, quick offense. I think he's a talented guy, but at the end of it, Tom Brady and them look really good. They beat New Orleans in the playoffs last year at the Superdome there, so I just think Tampa Bay is the better team. And coming up next, now it's Cowboys at Vikings. I must say, we all submit these picks on Wednesday, so we don't get full injury reports. We all picked the Cowboys, but there's been a big swing on the Vegas line as the Vikings are now favored, and a lot of it has to do with Dak Prescott looking like he won't be playing on Sunday.
You know, I will tell you, though, I was talking to Grant Sweeter before coming up here, and he told me he did his homework on Cooper Rush, and he really likes what he sees. And he's confident in that Cowboys pick, so I'll stick with the Cowboys in this one, too.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have switched, but, you know, we have standards to uphold here, so we got the Vikings. So you can check out the rest of our picks by visiting this story on the website. Currently, we'll take a look ahead to next week's sports calendar when we return. Welcome back to SportsZone Saturday. Before we leave, let's take a look ahead to the next week's sports calendar. High school volleyball playoffs beginning for Class A and B. Regional tournaments getting underway Monday and Tuesday as teams begin their quest for a state championship. Then spots in the state football championships will be up for grabs on Friday night. All 7 classes holding their semifinals. So who will go to the Dakota Dome? We'll find out. Then next Saturday, USD football returning from its bye as they go on the road to Western Illinois, looking to get back into the win column. And then Saturday at 2 in Brookings, Dakota marker game. SDSU hosting NDSU Jacks, looking to keep the trophy in Brookings in back-to-back years.
Should be a good one. Looking forward to it. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of SportsZone Saturday.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy Halloween, and we'll see you back here next week.